So,
well, you knew he had to go.
He had to go.
He had to go.
He had to go, and she knew he'd switch the teacups.
Oh, yeah. How smart was that?
Yeah, it's so smart. That makes the screenplay good. Nicholas Gessner, the director, terrific job there. Laird Koenig wrote the film. All good. And then just the way the director, Gessner, we don't see Martin Sheen suffer, right?
No.
It's just, we're on Jodie. We're on her.
It's all on her. She's just waiting for him to go.
And she's like, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, tell me more. Yeah.
And he is so, first of all, he's so creepy, but Martin Sheen's a handsome man.
Very.
So there's nothing creepy looking about him, but which is a testament to him as a great actor, that he can play that looking the way he does, and you're still like, ugh. And Alexis Smith is so brutal in this.
Yeah.
Well, she raised that son.
She raised that son, and then she knows, right, what he is, right? But then when it comes time to protect him, she's very ready to protect him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then
a mother's love knows no bounds.
Her death scene.
Oh.
Very good.
Very good.
Very scary. And Jodie Foster, nothing to do, just...
She didn't even do it.
No,
she was like backing up, and the thing just fell.
No, I mean, that's well done.
It's really well done.
That thing hit her on the head.
It's a really good screenplay. Yeah. I just think it's really smart.
Yeah, like that little tiny moments that establish right away. Because again, you get Martin Sheen. He's done Badlands. This guy's a pretty established actor at this point. And as you say, he's dashing, right? So you don't know. He might be the good guy, right? But he comes in and he tracks the mud into the house without uncaringly, right? And she looks at it, and we know right away, like, this guy is, at best, a narcissist, and at worst, a criminal.
Yeah, you don't walk into someone's house with muddy boots. I would have thrown him a mop and a scrub brush and said, clean it up and then get out.
Well, you would have showed him.
I would have showed him. And then Scott Jacoby, who plays the young man with polio. And I've always been in love with this actor. He's just so good. I love their relationship in it. It's really tender and sweet, and they challenge each other, and you can tell they were kind of made for each other.
Yeah.
As far as the two characters,
and they're both young, but that didn't. I don't know. Somehow that didn't feel weird. That felt like they cared about each other. He was clearly, I mean, the entire movie, he literally got pneumonia because he cared about her and was trying to protect her and look out for her in a way that we now know there was nobody else to
And I love that he's dressed up as the father upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
He comes down and it was like...
Right, and then signs the book.
Yeah, and signs the book,
Yeah, and it's his uncle.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. He prolongs the moment with his uncle, right? Like the one person most likely to figure out that it's him.
Yeah, not bad makeup from afar.
I also like, Jodie Foster, all these movies, whether it's Taxi Driver or whether she's playing Becky Thatcher, or Bugsy Malone or
Twins.
Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, right? She's tough. And so that moment then when she makes herself vulnerable, very authentically, I thought, to him in this movie, right? She just decides, no, I'm not super into being alone. And here's a person who gets me, who understands. This is somebody I'm willing to take a risk for here.
And I want to be around him.
And he asks her to take the risk.
Yeah.
And it's lovely. It's a lovely little moment.
And that's, again, a testament to the two of them as actors and their chemistry and the fact that was written into this film, because that piece of it could have easily been ignored. That made that vulnerability, that made that relationship that you cared about, because everything else is pretty harsh.
Everything is harsh, yeah, anchored by Martin Sheen's diabolical performance, and so good.
He's vicious. And then he's got 2 kids.
He's got 2 kids, right? But that all now feels sort of set up by his mom, right? Give him a life and put those kids in jeopardy at the same time, right? She did. She
wasn't a nice lady.
No.
She wasn't a nice landlord.
She was a bad landlord.
Yeah, she really was.
They had a lease, okay? They have a lease. You can't just throw her out.
No.
They have a 3-year lease.
Oh, and she fights her on it, too.
Yeah.
Jodie Foster really challenges Alexis Smith in this as far as what the rules are.
All right, Mario.
Ben.
Mario.
Ben.
I enjoyed this conversation.
I did, too. This was a good one.
Stick around. Mario and I return momentarily with a movie released the very next year, 1977. Brooke Shields in the cast of Alice, Sweet Alice.
Mm-hmm.
TCM, the conversation around movies is always free-flowing. The TCM Wine Club brings more stories to your table. Pairing incredible wines with great classic movies. Join now and receive 15 wines, including 3 exclusive movie wines, for an incredible value.
I was in the closest seat possible.
It literally took my breath away.
Go to TCMWineclub.com or call 1-844-WINE-TCM.
When a movie musical is great and firing on all cylinders, it's just a wonder to behold. My hope for TCM Musical Matinee is that everybody will start off their weekends with an exploration of what it means to be a movie musical. It can be an early sound song and dance movie. It can be a lavish mid-20th century spectacle. It can be a more contemporary film. It can be a concert documentary. It's a movie that features music prominently in its storytelling. And anytime you can add more music to your life is a good thing.
Is everybody having fun?
I love the idea of multi-generational viewers watching these films together every Saturday. TCM Musical Matinee, hosted by me, Dave Karger. Saturdays at noon, starting November 5th.
The TCM Classic Cruise. It's 5 nights aboard the Disney Dream to Grand Cayman and Disney's Castaway Cay. With legends Chevy Chase, Richard Dreyfuss, Lainie Kazan, Dina Martin, Pat Boone, Bob Mackie, Sean Young, plus TCM's 5 hosts. Book your stateroom today. Visit TCMcruise.com for more.
Back again with my pal Mario Cantone as we continue with night 4 of Creepy Cinema.
Night 4. Wow, it's been a run so far, and we've got more to go.
This is part 2 of our look at creepy loners. And Martin Sheen in our previous film, The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane, he was creepy.
You thought he was the creepy loner.
Oh my God, he was definitely the creepy loner.
Yeah.
Here it's there's a twist.
There is a twist.
There's definitely a twist. This is Alice, Sweet Alice from 1977.
Yeah, Alfred Soule directed and wrote this. It's his first film. He was an architect that was restoring properties in New Jersey, and he used some of these properties to shoot this film on. And it's a bizarre thing because he got it made. It did kind of well. He went to actors and asked them to do this. And he asked Brooke Shields, and then he got people that he knew in New Jersey, and then he got some
Brooke Shields is the most famous person in this cast, but she was a very young kid at the time. A movie set in 1961 in Jersey. It's originally released under the title Communion. This is a very Catholic film.
It's very Italian Catholic.
Yeah.
It's like the first Italian Catholic horror film. That's what I really loved about it because, you know, it's very, I mean, they're all Italian. And I think he was Italian, and
it seems like you grew up in Jersey, but you didn't.
I grew up in outside of Boston, but believe me, I look at this film and I went, oh, I know him, I know her. So that's what I love about this movie, and it's very odd. There's a lot of people bickering and not liking each other and judging each other.
There's a lot of judging for committing, you know, the sins of premarital sex and the sin of divorce. I mean, it's that kind of judgment.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and the Catholic Church not into this movie.
Oh, they didn't like this movie.
They didn't like this movie at all.
No,
yeah.
They didn't. I think it was pulled in the UK because of its supposed anti-Catholic themes. But it's a good one, and I'm glad we're showing it because I had never seen it, and I don't even know if it's the first time you've showed it here, but I don't think so. I think they showed it on Underground at one point, but it's a good one.
Yeah, so you hadn't seen this, I hadn't seen it. No. This is a recommendation from a guy who, Ben Cheeves, in our programming department.
Who was so helpful. He was fantastic. I was on the phone with him every day. I nagged his life.
You nagged?
Yeah, you know,
it's hard to believe.
You know, I wormed my way into this group. You know, I've been obsessed with you forever, and I love programming things because you get to behind the scenes and you get the ins and outs of what you're going to show and what you're not going to show and how to match it up and it's
and pairing these two movies, the one we just saw, the Jodie Foster Martin Sheen film, The Little Girl Lives Down the Lane, with Alice, Sweet Alice, and a theme of creepy loners, it's genius.
Thank you, Ben.
Well, it's mostly for Ben Cheeves, but sure. Okay, fine. You take the compliment.
Thanks.
Such an
I'm
actor.
sitting here.
Right, I got you. So I want to mention before we show the movie, and we'll talk more afterwards, because again, it's very hard to talk about this film without spoiling it.
Yeah, I know.
But Alice is Paula Shepherd, who does a nice job. She plays Brooke Shields' older sister.
She's supposed to be 13 in the movie. She was 19 when she made this film.
Is that right? I didn't even...
First year in college when she made this film.
She does not look 19.
And her mother, played by Linda Miller, is Jackie Gleason's daughter.
Linda Miller is Jackie Gleason's daughter. Look at you bringing information.
Well, I have to do something to impress you. I had to find you. I had to make you like me. So yeah, and they didn't get along very well. The director, Mr. Soule, and
Alfred Soule
Miller.
and Linda Miller didn't get along.
They didn't get along very well.
All right. Well, they in the end they made a pretty compelling horror film.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Let's watch it. We'll come back. We'll talk afterwards. Here it is from 1977. Alice, Sweet Alice. Back with Mario Cantone. Really, the person I was most angry at as we watched the end of Alice, Sweet Alice, was the cop for letting Father Tom be like, "No, I know her." I'm like, "Hey, man, no. We're going to arrest her now, Father Tom."
And the fact that you know...
She'll never hurt me.
The fact that you know it's her, like, way before the movie's over.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision. I think not a bad one, because they gave us like 2/3 of the movie with wondering who. You can't believe it's Alice, right? You know it's not Alice. I mean, she's not capable of that. She's still a little kid.
The fact that it was a depressed, older Italian woman killed me. It just plugged into me psychologically, because, you know, all the Italian women in my family, mostly, especially the older generation, they were all depressed. They were great women, but they were unhappy women. Yeah. They didn't want to be mothers, but they were forced into it. Because that's what you were supposed to do back then. When it was her...
Mrs. Tredoni.
I was like, it's the depressed Italian woman. I'm so thrilled. I've never seen a villain be an older Italian woman. And she was so in love with the priest, and she was obsessed with him, and that was her whole life. That was it. That's all she had.
And then there's, I thought a really effective way of suggesting, I don't know, a relationship, something between Linda Miller, the mother, and just the way she called him Tom. Yeah. Right? Not Father Tom. Hey, Tom. Right?
Well, do you think there was something going on?
I don't know. I love a movie that lets you, wonder about it. Yes, that would be my sense, that there was a familiar. That's what Mrs. Tredoni certainly objected to their familiarity.
She was jealous of
she was jealous
Alice, of everybody,
and of
the daughters.
Brooke Shields, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then there's the landlord.
Oh, and then there's the landlord. Yeah.
Who was? I mean, another creepy kind of.
Yeah, so I guess, I was thinking that as we programmed this with our line of creepy loners, I thought the creepy loner could be Mrs. Tredoni.
Yeah, or could be the landlord.
Could be the landlord definitely qualifies.
No question. And not as good looking as Martin Sheen. Not that makes a difference, but it's harder to watch. Yeah, he's brutal looking.
That stain that they put on his pants.
It was disgusting. I know.
I know, right? The whole movie.
The realism in this is unbelievable.
Change your pants, man. Yeah.
It's and the fact
this could have been a movie. This night also could have been outrageous landlords.
Yeah,
right. Horrible landlords.
This was a good pairing. It was like a good wine with a nice piece of turbot.
I don't know what that means.
Well, anyway, when I take you to eat and I culture you, you will, and maybe do a Broadway show. But this is the Italian-American horror film. So I think it's just unique. I've never seen it. I've never seen a film like this before. It was different.
And then what are we to make of the end of Alice? Like, it's almost like that's the only little coda that I didn't quite get. Doesn't mean it was bad, it just means I didn't get it. Like, are we supposed to believe that there's some part of Alice that is, in fact, evil just because she was tormenting her younger sister a bit?
Or she was going to take over the murders from this point on?
Right, take over the mask murdering business.
I don't know, because she gives that look and you're like,
Right, and she takes the knife.
Yeah.
She puts the knife in the little shopping bag there at the end. That's the end of the film.
I think she was going to take over from where Mrs. Tredoni left off.
All right, Mario, thanks very much.
Thank you, Ben. This was wonderful.
Mario is done for the night, but he'll be back next Monday on Halloween for our final night of creepy horror. For now, though, stay with us. The horror films continue on Turner Classic Movies.
If there's one day to remember, one weekend to prepare for, it's the one where stars align to flicker in the dark. This is why we love the movies.
I'm so excited to be here.
I have to come every year no matter what.
TCM is a way of life.
One date to remember, and it's this one.
Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz, joined by Mario Cantone / Betty Davis.
We're twins, aren't we?
Yes, that's right.
/ Shelley Winters.
Oh my God, are you gonna show my picture?
/ Cher. Join us every Monday night for creepy cinema throughout the month of October. Look at you bringing information.
Well, I have to do something to impress you.
Mondays in October starting at 8 p.m.
On Turner Classic Movies.
From Steven Spielberg, director of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Poltergeist.
Contrary to popular superstition, hauntings and poltergeist incidents do not necessarily occur in old, dark, abandoned mansions. They can occur anytime, any place.
The house looks just like the one next to it, and the one next to that, and the one next to that. And yet, it's special. It is inhabited by a young couple. Their 3 children. And something more.
Poltergeist is a German word. Geist meaning ghost, polter meaning noisy. So a poltergeist is a noisy ghost or noisy spirit.
There's no simple answer as to why these phenomena occur.
At first, like a child, it simply wanted attention.
At first, people are just puzzled by the phenomena.
Soon, it became inquisitive, experimental, mischievous.
Furniture topples over.
Objects fly around by themselves.
Vases may be shattered.
Fires may spontaneously break out.
Most of the time, there's a particular person that the events seem to focus around.
It grew restless.
The initial outbreak will terrify the family.
Then it became frustrated.
They are typically violent.
Hostile.
Apparitions have been reported.
Angry.
It can be violent, vicious, and destructive.
And now, its focus is clear.
As of yet, we don't know how to control them.
Its form is revealed, and the games are over. Next summer, the unknown will be revealed. The invisible will be seen. Poltergeist. The first real ghost story.
It was f***ed up. We had to jump out a damn plane. I skipped ingenue right to deadly killer.
She was a powerful force on the screen. She is fearless.
She tore the movie industry up.
I think I started a movement.
The plot thickens. Here Comes Pam, hosted by Ben Mankiewicz, starting October 25th on Apple Podcasts and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Visit tcm.com/podcast to learn more.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm taking over now.
Special, what I do is not for you.
forget about it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
You could have turned away, but you didn't. You're mad. Quite mad. Don't think you've made it under my skin. Could never get in. Forget about it. Don't talk so much. Your tongue is burning up. I've had enough. Forget about it. Got you running in circles. Get your paws off my Dolce cologne. Off my throne, 'cause you know you wanna walk away and forget about it.
That is some kind of walk.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
The turning of the projector is just the beginning. The untold stories behind celluloid illuminate the pages of the TCM library. New this fall, Viva Hollywood, the legacy of Latin and Hispanic artists in American film from author Luis Reyes. And camp, kitsch, and cult reign in TCM Underground. 50 must-see films from the world of classic cult and late-night cinema from TCM's own Millie DeChirico and Kotoya Murray. Find these titles wherever books and ebooks are sold.
Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM as we continue with our fourth installment of Creepy Cinema. We're doing this each Monday night in October, wrapping it up next week on Halloween. As always, Mario Cantone, actor, comedian, horror expert, national spokesman for the 315 Shadow. Join me as he does each week for the first two films of the evening. Our first two movies tonight were disturbing thrillers with female protagonists. We started with Jodie Foster as the little girl who lives down the lane, followed by Brooke Shields, very briefly, in Alice, Sweet Alice. Our next three damsels in some seriously dark distress are all haunted by various apparitions. Up next, filmed in 1976, not released in the U.S. until 1981, Mia Farrow stars in The Haunting of Julia. It's based on a novel by Peter Straub, who also wrote Ghost Story, which was adapted into another 1981 movie starring Fred Astaire and Melvin Douglas. By the time The Haunting of Julia went into production in 1976, Mia Farrow had become an established name in horror thrillers, starring in Rosemary's Baby in 1968 and See No Evil in 1971. Here she plays Julia Lofting, an American who buys a Victorian house in London as part of her recovery from a devastating tragedy and a subsequent stay in a mental hospital. But as all horror movie experts know, old Victorian houses in these movies are not generally soothing to the psyche. Disturbing events begin occurring. A spirit seems to be sharing the house with Farrow. Is she being stalked by her estranged ex-husband Magnus, played by Keir Dullea? Or is her mental illness slowly creeping back? Tom Conti co-stars as an antique dealer who may or may not be involved in her torment. The film, originally released as Full Circle outside the U.S., had an unusual journey to stateside screens. We'll have more on that after the film. From 1981, directed by Richard Longcrane, also with Jill Bennett, The Haunting of Julia.